1. Introduction. My name is Ingrid. My life changed completely when I was 22 years old. Before that time, my life was not happy, but it was simple. I lived in a big house with my stepmother, Clara. My real father died when I was a young girl. After he was gone, Clara was the only family I had. She raised me, but she never loved me like a daughter. For her, I was just a reminder of her husband. She never smiled at me or said a kind word. I always felt like a guest in my own home, a guest that was not welcome. For many years, my biggest wish was for Clara to see me as family. But that wish never came true. She only wanted me to leave. One evening, everything became worse. Clara called me into the living room. She sat in my father's big chair and looked at me with cold eyes. "Ingrid," she said, her voice flat and without emotion, "I have made a decision about your future. You are going to get married." I was shocked. I could not speak for a moment. A husband? I did not know anyone. "Who is he?" I asked in a small voice. "His name is Niam," she answered. She had a small, cruel smile on her face. "He is not a rich man. He is very poor. He has no good job and no family with money. People say he is useless." She wanted me to know that she was choosing a bad life for me. She enjoyed telling me about this man's problems. My heart started to beat very fast. I did not want this. "No," I said, and my voice was shaking. "Please, Clara, do not do this to me. I will do anything. I can find a job. I will give you all my money. Just please do not make me marry a stranger." I begged her, and tears fell from my eyes, but Clara did not care about my tears. She stood up and came close to me. Her face was angry. "You will do what I say," she said. "You will marry Niam next week. This is not a request." Then she told me her final, terrible plan. "If you refuse, I will throw you out of this house. You will have no money, no clothes, and no place to sleep. You will be alone on the streets." I looked into her hard eyes, and I knew she was serious. I had no choice. My life was no longer my own. 2. The wedding day. The morning of the wedding arrived. It was a sunny day, but my world felt dark and cold. I did not want to get out of bed. I wanted to hide. But Clara came into my room. She did not say good morning. She just put a simple dress on my bed. It was a plain, white dress. It was not a special wedding dress. It was just something old and cheap. I had no choice. I put it on and looked in the mirror. The girl in the mirror looked sad and scared. That girl was me. The wedding was not in a beautiful church. It was in a small, gray room at the town hall. There were only a few chairs. Not many people came. A few of Clara's friends were there. They did not look at me with kind eyes. They looked at me with pity. I stood at the front of the room and waited. My heart was beating very fast. I felt sick. Then he walked in. It was the first time I saw Niam. He was a quiet man with sad eyes. He wore a dark suit that was too big for him. The sleeves were too long and the shoulders were too wide. He looked uncomfortable and lost. He did not look at me. He just stood next to me and looked at the floor. He was the man I had to marry. He was a complete stranger. During the ceremony, people whispered. Their voices were quiet, but I heard them. "He is so poor," one person said. "He has no future," another person added. "Why is she marrying him?" someone asked. My face felt hot with shame. I was not ashamed of Niam. I was ashamed because everyone knew my stepmother forced me into this. I wanted to disappear. Clara stood nearby. She was not sad for me. She was smiling. It was a wicked, happy smile. She was pleased with her plan. She was finally getting rid of me. She looked like a queen who had won a great victory. Her happiness made my pain feel much bigger. She was my family, but she was my enemy. The official told us to sign the marriage papers. It was time. I picked up the pen, but my hand was shaking so much. I could not write my name properly. Tears filled my eyes and started to fall down my cheeks. One tear fell directly onto the paper next to my name. My life was over. All my dreams were gone. I was now the wife of a poor stranger. I felt completely empty inside. The ceremony was finished. I was Mrs. Ingrid Niam, but I did not feel like a wife. I felt like a prisoner, 3 hard life together. After the wedding, Niam took me to his house. It was at the very edge of town, far from the nice streets I knew. A cold wind always seemed to blow there. The building was old and looked broken. The paint was coming off the walls, and the door was difficult to open and close. Inside, it was worse. The floor was made of old wood, and it made noises when we walked. There was not much furniture, and everything was old and worn. We did not have warm water for washing. The small kitchen was almost empty, with very little food to eat. For the first few weeks, I felt terrible. I did not want this life. I was angry and sad. I cried when Niam was not there. I missed my old life, even with my stepmother. At least I had a warm bed and enough food. I blamed Niam for this difficult life. In my mind, he was not a good husband because he could not provide a comfortable home. I did not speak to him unless I had to. But Niam was different. He never said a bad word about our situation. He was never angry. He was always quiet and calm. Every morning, he left the house before the sun came up. He worked all day long, taking any job he could find. He carried heavy boxes for shop owners and cleaned gardens for other people. He did this difficult work for just a few coins. His hands were always rough and dirty, but he never showed me his pain. In the evenings, he came home very tired, but he always thought of me first. If I was cold, he gave me his only good coat to wear. One evening, I saw him counting the few coins he earned. He separated them into 2 small piles. One was for bread, and the other was for a small piece of cheese because he knew I liked it. He ate only bread himself. One night, a storm made a hole in our roof. Rain started to fall on my bed. Niam was very tired, but he went outside in the dark and fixed it. Slowly, my feelings started to change. I watched him every day. He was not weak, he was strong. His strength was not in money, but in his spirit. I started to feel ashamed of my thoughts. I slowly stopped seeing our poor house. Instead, I started to see the good man who lived there with me. My heart was still heavy, but a small part of it started to feel a little warmer because of his quiet care. For a secret hope. Life in the small house was still difficult, but something inside me was changing. I did not hate our home anymore. I started to see the good in Niam, and I felt less alone. One evening, after a simple dinner of bread and soup, Niam was very quiet. He looked at his hands. They were red and rough from his hard work every day. He then looked at me and decided to share something important. His voice was soft when he spoke. He told me about a dream he had many years ago. He wanted to start his own small business making furniture. He was very good with wood. He told me that life was unfair to him, and a bad situation made him lose everything. I saw real pain in his eyes when he talked about his past, but I also saw something else there. It was a small light, like a little star in the dark. It was hope. For the first time since my wedding, I felt a strong desire to help another person. I wanted to help him. His dream suddenly felt like my dream, too. We started to save every coin we earned. We put the money in a small wooden box. Every night, we counted it. It was not much, but it was a start. I stopped thinking about the nice things I used to have. Our shared goal was more important. I had one valuable object left from my old life. It was a beautiful gold necklace. My father gave it to me before he died. It was my most special possession. One morning, I made a decision. I took the necklace to a shop in the town and sold it. With the money, Niam could finally buy the tools he needed for his work. When I gave him the money, he looked at me with surprise and gratitude. He did not say a word, but his eyes told me everything. During all this time, my stepmother, Clara, never visited. She never sent a letter to ask if I was okay. It was like I was dead to her, but it did not hurt me anymore. A new life was beginning, and it was filled with a secret hope. 5, our big success. Niam worked very hard for many months. Every morning, he woke up early and started working with his new tools. He made chairs, tables, and beautiful cabinets. His work was simple but strong and very well made. At first, only a few people knew about his great talent. But good news travels fast in a small town. A neighbor bought a chair and was very happy. She showed it to all her friends. Then, a local shop owner saw his work and asked for a small table for his store. Niam was always tired at the end of the day, but he never stopped. He put all his energy and hope into the wood he worked with. Slowly, People all over our town started to talk about the man who made amazing furniture. Soon, one order became two, and two orders became 10. It felt like a dream. More and more people came to our little house, knocking on our door. They all wanted Niam to build things for their homes. We had a long list of orders, and it grew every week. We started to work together. I helped Niam with the small tasks. I learned how to make the wood smooth with sandpaper. I painted the finished furniture with careful hands. We were a team, and we were good at it. Every week, we had more money. We saved every coin, just like before. But now there were many coins. Our small money box became full. We got a bigger box, and that became full too. Our life started to change in big ways. The first thing we did was leave our old, broken house. We bought a new house near the center of town. It was beautiful, with big windows that let in the sun. It had a strong roof that did not leak when it rained. The house was always warm inside. We bought new clothes and good, strong shoes. We went to the market and bought fresh bread, cheese, fruit, and meat. We ate good food every day and were never hungry again. I looked in the mirror one day and saw a different woman. I was not the sad, scared girl from the wedding. I was smiling, and my smile was real. The best change was not the house or the food. The best change was in our hearts. Niam and I started to laugh together. After a long day of work, we sat and talked for hours. He told me stories about his childhood, and I told him about my father. We walked through the town in the evening, and he held my hand. His hand was strong and warm, and I felt safe with him. Our love grew stronger every day. I realized that my stepmother did not ruin my life. She accidentally gave me a gift. She gave me Niam. This marriage was not a curse. It was a true blessing. I looked at my husband and knew he was the richest person in the world. His richness was not in money, but in his kind and loving spirit. 6. Clara comes back. Our new life was peaceful. The bad memories of our small, broken house felt far away. One sunny afternoon, Niam and I were in our garden. We were drinking tea and talking about our plans. We were happy. Suddenly, there was a knock on our front door. I went to see who it was. I opened the door and saw my stepmother, Clara. I was very surprised. She never visited us before. She did not care about me when we were poor. She wore a big, fake smile. "Ingrid, my dear," she said, "I am so happy for you. I heard you and your husband are very successful now." I did not trust her smile. I knew Clara very well. I let her come inside. Her eyes moved quickly around our living room. She looked at the new sofa, the warm carpet, and the paintings on the wall. I did not see happiness in her eyes. I saw greed. She wanted all of this for herself. Niam was polite. He did not know her like I did. He offered her a chair and a cup of tea. "Thank you, Niam," she said. Her voice was very sweet. "You have done very well. You are a strong and rich man. You deserve the best." Then she stopped smiling and looked at me. Her face was serious. "Niam," she said, "Ingrid was a good wife for you when you had nothing. But things are different now. You are an important man. You need a more suitable wife." I could not breathe. I could not believe her words. "My daughter, Anna, is a wonderful girl," Clara continued. "She is younger than Ingrid. She is prettier. She would be the perfect wife for a successful man. You should leave Ingrid and marry Anna." After she spoke to Niam, she turned to me. Her eyes were cold like ice. "You have enjoyed enough comfort, Ingrid," she said quietly. "You lived in this nice house and wore nice clothes. It is time for you to leave. Let Anna have this life now." My heart broke. All the pain from my past came back. This woman, my own family, wanted to destroy my happiness again. I felt tears in my eyes. I looked at Niam, my heart full of fear. My whole world waited for his answer. 7. Niam's strong love. I stood still, and my heart felt like a broken piece of glass. I could not find any words, but Niam moved. He stepped in front of me like a wall protecting me from Clara. His face, usually so kind, was now hard and cold. His eyes were full of a fire I had never seen before. He was not the quiet man from our wedding day. He was a strong man, and he was ready to fight for our life together. "You will not speak to my wife like that," Niam said. His voice was low but very strong. It filled the room. "Ingrid is my wife, and I love her more than anything. I will never leave her, not for your daughter, not for anyone." He reached back and took my hand. His hand was warm and it held mine tightly. "We had nothing when we started. We built this life with our own hands, with our own sweat. You were not here when we were hungry. You did not help us. You have no right to come here and try to take this away." Clara's face became ugly. She was shocked by his words. She thought he would be happy to get a new wife. "You will be sorry for this," she hissed. Her voice was like a snake. "You are just a poor man who got lucky. I will tell everyone in this town that you are a cheat. I will spread lies about your work. I will ruin your good name. No one will buy your furniture. You will be poor again, and then we will see how strong your love is." But Niam did not look afraid. He stood even taller. "Go and try," he said calmly. "The people here know me. They saw me when I had only old clothes and a broken house. They saw me work hard every single day. They know I am an honest man." As he spoke, our neighbor Mr. Henderson was passing our house. He heard Clara's angry shouting. He stopped and looked at us with a kind, worried face. "Is everything all right, Niam? We all know you are a good and honest man." Clara looked at Niam, then at our neighbor. Her plan was failing. Her threats were empty. She had no power over us. Her face turned red with anger and shame. She gave me one last look full of hate. Then she turned and walked away quickly. The door closed, and she was finally gone from our home. The room was silent. Niam turned to me, and the anger left his face. He looked at me with so much love. He opened his arms, and I walked into them. I leaned my head on his chest and listened to his strong, steady heartbeat. He fought for me. He protected me. For my whole life, I had felt alone. But in that moment in his arms, I felt completely safe. I knew I was not just lucky, I was loved. Niam was my home, 8, our happy life. After that difficult day with Clara, Niam and I made an important decision together. We wanted peace in our lives. We decided to cut all ties with my stepmother and my stepsister, Anna. We sent them a polite but firm letter. We explained that we could not have them in our lives anymore. We did not want their anger or their greed near our family. It was a sad choice to make about family, but it was the right one for our future happiness. With that problem gone, Niam's business continued to grow bigger and bigger. His reputation for making beautiful, strong furniture spread to nearby cities. We had to hire 2 new workers to help him in the workshop. I managed the business side. I enjoyed speaking with customers and organizing the orders. We were a great team, working together every day. Soon, we became one of the wealthiest couples in the entire region. We bought a larger, more beautiful house with a big garden. We had comfortable clothes and always had delicious food on our table. But the money was never the most important part of our success. The true treasure was the deep love and trust we shared. We talked for hours about our hopes and our dreams for the future. We made every decision, big or small, together. Niam was not just my husband, he was my best friend and my partner in everything. With him, I always felt completely safe and truly loved. Our happiness was not in our big house or our money. It was in the small moments, like laughing while we cooked dinner or walking in our garden holding hands. Sometimes, I quietly think about my wedding day. I remember the cold feeling of fear and how sad I was. I truly believed my life was over. I thought my stepmother's cruel plan had destroyed all my chances for a happy future. But I was so wrong. Fate had a very different plan for me. That terrible day was not an ending. It was the beginning of my real life. The man I was forced to marry, the man I once looked at with pity, became my greatest treasure. Niam gave me a love that was stronger and more real than anything I ever knew. He is my home. Every single night, when he holds me close before we sleep, I feel a deep sense of gratitude in my heart. I thank life for turning a story of sadness into the most beautiful story of love.